The living room, where the family meets to discuss issues, any issue which may be bothering one of the family members. That's what we do each and every Tuesday on WACK 90.1 FM with Ricardo Mitchell and DJ Aaron868. We have casual conversations on serious topics, from sports to culture, mental health to economics, relationships to life lessons. Join us each and every Tuesday on WACK 90.1 FM. The living room, casual conversations on serious topics.
It is now 6 p.m. here in Trinidad and Tobago. I don't know what time it is where you are, but I'm glad to know you're locked onto the true nation station WACK 90.1 FM, where we are
culture crazy.
First and foremost, let's kick this off as we always do. All right. Must give thanks and praises to the Almighty for granting us the gift of life and seeing another day. No matter what time of day it is, you must always
give thanks.
Secondly, we must say thank you to those that went before us, and we are not just talking about our ancestors, the original inhabitants of Trinidad and Tobago, because we all know, accept, reiterate, and say it with the chest that Columbus lied. But also to our brother in music, Tony Prescott, where the P this week stands for
Pelota, Partido, or ball, or game.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
Trinidad is playing Cuba at 7 p.m. So I had to find myself by a TV.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Correct, is right.
Yeah.
There's another P word, you know. By punishment, by. I had the honor of interviewing one Mr. Phillips earlier today. So the P is for Phillips. Yeah. Yeah. So better we stop, because these P words look like they're gonna get perpetually worse.
And preposterously terrible.
Just saying. What you gonna do, babe? Mr. Williams. We've had a very, very interesting week so far.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of just touching on politics very, very briefly. I've
Right.
seen some preposterous proposed candidates being presented to the public. I'm seeing politicians parting ways with their parties. I'm seeing, on a very serious note, that Donald Trump is proposing 25% tariffs on countries that are buying oil from Venezuela. So it looks like he is dealing with he's taking things off his list. Trinidad and Tobago, as a nation, we need to be prayerful and prepared. I'm an advocate for saying that nothing changes without something happening. Something is happening, right? So, we don't have to hit the panic button, but let's just be mindful and let's pay attention to the things that are changing around us. Not everything a meme could resolve. So that's me. I think I'm all petered out in terms of presenting P words.
Yeah. Because this silly season, as we come to call it here in Trinidad and Tobago, sometimes exposes the deep, dark underbelly of thoughts and feelings that a lot of us harbor. It tends to expose elements of ourselves which are unbecoming, disrespectful, uncouth, nasty, to say the least. And I think what a lot of us tend to forget is that we, the people, have to live together. We have to work together after. But then there's another part of this which I don't think a lot of us are understanding, is that a lot of the profiles that are commenting online are not real people.
Yeah. You out here either arguing with a fraud or a robot.
Exactly. Now, and I'm glad they said fraud, because there are a lot of persons as well who take this opportunity to dig up that Finsta profile or that for Facebook profile. Yeah, I don't know how to say fake Facebook then.
Yeah. The F in Instagram and the f in Facebook is for fake,
Fake.
fraudulent.
Yeah. Or the FX.
Mm-hmm.
See what I did there?
Yeah, I leave that one alone. I don't deal up with that brand.
Right. But you and a lot of persons pull out the profiles I would have created 5 years ago, 10 years ago, however long, that they never post on. Genuinely. And all of a sudden, that's the profile they're using all the time to spew that vitriol of hate. To spew that vitriol of divisiveness. Amongst us, the population. And just how before, we used to ask persons to be respectful in disagreement. We continue to ask persons to be respectful in disagreement during this time. And we ask persons as well to be even more respectful of persons' views.
Well, Aaron, my long story short, we had a mind with business. At the end of the day, when all the noise dies down, we still going to be in positions of trying to maintain conversation, civil conversation. And one of the responsibilities as your host this evening, Ricardo Mitchell, the social sage on the global stage, alongside my bro with no fro, no more, culture is his code and all these other fanciful things that he says, DJ Aaron868, we welcome you to the living room. Right, we're gonna have a conversation with some guests this evening about something a little more positive than what it is we've been faced with thus far. And they've already joined us in the waiting room. So after this intro from Boarish, we're gonna bring them into the living room. And we're back after that lovely intro from Boarish. Okay, I'm in the living room now. It's DJ Aaron868, Ricardo Mitchell, the social sage. And we have two lovely, intelligent, well-spoken, and well-meaning guests. To counter that, we also have an Aaron. Yeah. Yep. People are chuckling.
Ricardo.
Hey.
We have guests.
I should be here.
This is the first time they have ever been in the living room.
Thanks for having us. We're so
I love it. It's a privilege to be here, and I love it. I love the humor and the laid backness.
Please let you be on your best behavior.
And that is why we have an Aaron. Yeah. Okay. So, where do we start with this? All right. So on April this. No.
No, you're jumping the gun, Ricardo. You are jumping the gun. Because whenever we have guests in the living room, there's a very important question that we like to ask. It's the most important question. It's also the most difficult question. We are not asking you, where's the scene jelly bean? What's the word hummingbird? Or what's the gist physicist? We are asking you, how are you?
Carissa?
Okay, well, give thanks again, Aaron and Ricardo, and to be on your station, WACK 90.1. I am blessed. I am thankful. I'm thankful for life daily and all my blessings, which are my family and, the opportunities that are presented to me to do the works that I'm doing. So I give thanks.
I would say one word that comes to mind is grateful. The other one is excited because the Ital Food Festival is 2 weeks away? Carissa?
Yes, it is.
We have been extremely busy, particularly Carissa, of course, because she's spearheading this. And I am in Miami and I'll be flying to Trinidad. Hopefully I can come back with this current climate. That's another story. In any case, yeah, I'm excited for this. Really, really excited. So grateful and excited.
Yes.
Oh, excellent news.
I love those answers. And you mentioned something there, the Ital Food Festival. Now, a lot of us in South Trinidad, you'll go by the Ital man for a pie, or you'll go by the Ital man in the Ville to get something to eat. For those of us who don't know, what is Ital food?
Okay. Well, I give thanks. Ital food is really plant food, plants, things that nourish your body, things that revitalize you, things that energize you, things that uplift you. And therefore, I say plant food because it didn't have blood in it. It wasn't a dead specimen that we are now cooking. So it still has all its vitality in it that would nourish our mind, body, and soul. Right? So that's what Ital food is.
Okay.
It's alive.
Okay. So, and this is my last question before we get on into the meat of the discussion. I shouldn't say the meat.
You can sue me.
Come on, man.
Oh gosh.
The plant meat.
It would be the room.
Right?
Mushroom meat.
Is the meat is the meat of the matter?
Yes.
That's he's saying, Ricardo.
This is me actively listening. I am actively listening. Go ahead, Aaron. How does your foot taste, by the way?
What?
How does your foot? How does it taste? You're good? Listen, me. I'm talking Ital food.
I just got it.
Right. So the next question is: so at the Ital Food Festival that's taking place in a couple of weeks, only plant-based food options will be there.
Yes, sir. No meat, no bones, no dead, no flesh. Nothing that
No milk.
nothing
dairy.
harmful. Right.
No milk.
Nope. Nothing from a mother. If it have two eyes and it looking at you, we don't eat it. If it can run from you, we don't eat it.
So that means no fish either.
No fish.
That's right. No flesh.
Because I don't know, I'm glad this came up now, because my thing is with Ital, I don't know, I always assumed, well, I guess that's why they say never assume, that fish would have been a part of it.
Okay, so let me give you a little background into how it could be incorporated into an Ital Livity. But in this context of our Ital Food Festival, and in our Livity, we don't deal with anything that was alive, that had flesh or blood. Okay, but in the context of Rastafari and Ital, it came about as a way of natural living, living in harmony with the environment and making do with the things that are right to you, the things that are easily accessible to you, right? So, in many communities, probably inside Jamaica and in Trinidad too, you have fishing villages and stuff. Fishing is part of, a way of living for a lot of people. So that is how you can incorporate it with an Ital Livity in some aspects for some people.
Okay.
Follow?
Yeah, so it's a less processed situation then.
Yes, Ital is natural, less processed and coming closer from home, a connection with your food, that kind of thing we're talking about. Traditionally, even you would find you had a person raising their animals, they had a connection. Now it's not like that. There's a great disconnect between what we eat and how we live.
Yeah. And when at the event, I'll be giving a talk about the 4 major reasons why most people decide to switch to a plant-based diet. So yeah. We can talk about maybe 2 or 1.
And I want to ask if you care to share at least one of them.
Yeah. So I want to just make things clear that the debate over whether we can eat a plant-based diet healthy, I mean, Carissa and I are, we're examples of this, is over. There's no contentious debate in the medical field and in the research field around peer-reviewed studies. Research has also shown that a plant-based diet, when I say that, I mean a low-fat, balanced whole food plant-based diet can aid in the prevention and management of certain non-communicable diseases. For example, diabetes, heart disease, gout, dementia, as well as certain cancers, particularly prostate cancer, breast cancer, and ovarian cancer, and so on. So there is no, the debate about whether it can happen or not is just gone. Plus, I mean, I've been vegan for, I'm not Rastafarian. I've been vegan since 2010. So that's almost 15 years. Mm-hmm. And Carissa has been also for a long time. We're still alive. So the reason why, because health is one of the segues into why many people adopt a plant-based diet, that is usually around where the debate goes. And because of all the research now, major health and medical associations such as the British Dietetics Association, the American Heart Association, the United States Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics, the Canadian Diabetes Association, and so many more have all stated on their websites and in their material that a healthy, whole food, low-fat, plant-based diet can be good for health. Even the United Nations have also, right now, they are trying to encourage people, or at least have that material on their website, that eating more fruits and vegetables, seeds, legumes, provision, and whole grains is good for health. The problem is that the major Caribbean health and medical associations are not up to speed on providing this information as an option for people who are interested in switching to a plant-based diet, whether all or some. We don't have that content. So that's where Rethink Your Food comes in. And that's where the festival comes in, because what we're doing is grassroots community outreach through events with the festival. Basically, and Carissa will talk more about it, but it's a way to connect to the community, connect people who are vegans like me, people who consider themselves Ital. I eat a Ital diet. People who consider themselves plant-based, it's people who are veg curious, people who are environmentalists, naturalists who are interested in the ecosystem and so on, and eating healthy, in a place that, we can celebrate and meet and have fun. And I'll let Carissa talk more about the festival. But this sort of community outreach is what we need. It's why I collaborated with Carissa. Because that's what Rethink Your Food does. It's about making these collaborations with people and doing it all in fun and music, right?
Oh, well, this is perfect because I am fun, Aaron is music.
And we bring in the food.
And you'll bring in the food. This is fascinating for me. Couple months ago, I interviewed a mutual friend of ours, Carissa, Ruana Haynes. And one of the things that she'd spoken about in terms of the environmental impact of shifting to a more plant-based diet. Right? So between that, for some reason, the algorithm is now feeding me videos of animals, people with animals. And animals are adorable and intelligent and have so much personality. And I find myself at this tender age, scrolling through, sometimes people, like petting a llama, right? Or an alpaca. That's your favorite animal, Aaron? Yeah.
Llamas.
Llamas. Yeah. You have a kind of llama-ish finish. And I'm looking at the relationship that we can have with animals. And it has me thinking, maybe there's more to a harmonious relationship with nature than we might have been led to believe. So I was really excited about the Ital Food Festival and also getting the opportunity to to find out more about a vegetarian and vegan-based, well, plant-based lifestyle. I realize you're all staying away from the terms vegetarian and vegan. Is there?
Not
Why?
really, I
Why?
mean,
Mhm.
it's a number of things, but Ital is kind of like something we've been doing forever,
Yeah.
and then it also incorporates what vegan and vegetarian is in a way, but this vegan thing is a new term, you know what I mean? And we want to be inclusive too, because sometimes marketing is showing us that eating healthy is expensive, eating green is only for the elite, and that is not true. I think that Trinidad and Tobago and the Caribbean, we have a very rich culture in food, and we are foodies, right? But a lot of it is centralized around plant-based. If you look at Diwali and Indian festivals where we have to fast, we don't eat meat, and I say we because that's our culture. All of us do these things in our life, whether we're Hindu or not, or even Lent. It's Lent and people staying away from, but we have that tradition within ourselves to eat a lot of plant-based foods, be very creative with it, and feel full. Our bellies are full, but the demand for meat has been pushed on us, and a lot of other things, and commercialization and whatnot, and now we center meat. We can't have a meal without meat. Some people feel incomplete. They just need that meat, and at IFF, Ital Food Festival, and at Rethink Your Food, we want to reinforce the idea that food should be nurturing, healing, energizing, these kinds of things. It connects us with nature, as you said, for sure. It definitely does, so these are the things we want to just create that environment to let people know this is what it's about.
Yeah, I think that's very well said. And Ricardo, hats off to you to be thinking about your connections with the ecosystem, which includes the animals. I always tell people, be kind to yourself in your transformational journey. It's not an either or. It's not illegal. Nobody's going to put you in jail if you don't eat, animals. I get people sometimes, they may get angry as if I'm like, hey, you can eat what you want. It's not against the law. So take it down a notch and let's just have a discussion and marinate on it and don't get defensive. And it takes a level of maturity to do that, So I commend you, Ricardo, for even bringing up the issue about animal suffering and that they are mammals just like us. They are sentient beings,
right?
Just like us. They have personalities. They have their own relationships with people. They protect their young, and more so, they can suffer just like we do. They feel pain like we do. That's one of the reasons. That's one of the driving reason why I am vegan. I consider myself vegan. Vegan is different from plant-based, meaning I don't eat animals. I don't wear anything with leather. When I go to the shoe store, I am with my glasses looking through to see if it has leather or not. All those kinds of things. Whereas plant-based is more eating plants, but some people consider themselves plant-based when they're eating about 90% plants. Maybe a little bit of, like Carissa was saying, fish. Same thing with Ital. So there are variations of that. And then you have people who may eat plant-based except on the weekends or something. It's very different, and there's room for all of us in that sense. So I think it's fantastic.
Yeah, this is good. This is good. I know was it I'm wondering how many years of the Ital Food Festival have there been? Is this the third or fourth?
This will be the second. It only started last year. We made a first small footprint, and we're going again this year. Second annual Ital Food Festival.
Why I feel like I miss more? Why do I feel like I miss?
You didn't miss anything yet. Last year was a great effort, a great initiative. That Liz and I and a few supporters, funded us, and we made it happen, and we generated an interest, and we gathered some plant-powered community people to come out and, So this year we just expanded on it. We having a more of everything, more food vendors. We having some conservationists doing some nice talks on herbal medicine. We have Liz doing her talk as well. We have a composting demo. We will have live cooking demos as well. We'll have giveaways from a few companies. And lots of vendors will have samples too. So not only the lovely heartical food that we'll be bringing to you to feed your mind, body, and soul, we'll also have word, sound, and power from a few of the Rasta Reggae community members coming through to, bless up the mic and just interact with ones and ones, because it's a full circle liberty, it's a lifestyle. So, we just want to encourage that kind of consciousness and family vibes as well. I think it's important we have family spaces, outdoors too. So we have some
musicians. You have musicians.
We have some nice games. We're bringing back some marble pitching games and some fun things. We'll have some wildlife animals. So as we're talking about animals, the children can connect with them and really appreciate love them. Last year, my son had his own pets out on display as well. And. Yeah, so it has a lot. It features a holistic approach to, a different way of life, a more conscious and living in harmony with the environment kind of vibes.
Yeah, because it's not just about eating food. It's also the why, and the why is not just about health. Like I said, there's about 4 major reasons. One is climate. And, I'm going to go really into what is climate change. People say climate change, but do they know what it means? Why is the earth warming? And how does industrial animal agriculture, not your small farmer, not your backyard chicken, but industrial animal agriculture, that business is contributing to a lot of greenhouse gases that is warming the earth. And the only reason why we have industrial animal agriculture, meaning animals confined to these big factories and just clearing the rainforest, literally, which we call the lungs of the earth because we need it. Main Ridge in Tobago, they need that. That's their water supply. Rainforests are the lungs of the earth. So when you're clearing all that land so that you could, have import, all that meat, including processed meat, from outside Trinidad. It's there because of the high demand for meat. Yeah. But way back in the 30s, 40s, and 50s, our grandparents, they did not eat that much meat. They did not.
Once for the meat.
Yeah.
Meat was for Sundays. Meat was for Sunday lunch.
Exactly. It was for Sunday, it was for wedding, and it was for Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
Mom used to tell me that the pig was for Christmas, the chickens was, for weddings and stuff. But you didn't eat a lot. The main thing was a lot of plants. So because of that high demand, based on, I would say, multinational corporations telling us that meat is normal, natural, and necessary for protein and calcium, because of that, they have these factory farms. And one of the things Rethink Your Food wants to do is to share information, because our goal is to mitigate factory farms or end it. We are collaborating with other organizations because it's not necessary. And the only way to do that is to drastically reduce your meat consumption or eat a healthy plant-based diet. Calcium, for example. So one of the things that I won't call any names, but multinational NGOs that come into the Caribbean because, they have to help us little black and brown people and all of that stuff. These wealthy philanthropists, you have Bill Gates going into Africa with genetically modified organisms and all of that. For us, you have this sort of default idea that in order to attain nutrition security, you need to have animal protein for you need animals for protein and calcium. However, leafy greens have more calcium per calorie than milk. Milk is baby food. Like literally, we are the only mammal that as grown people, we are drinking baby food. So, and it has growth hormones. So when you see dudes with breasts, get rid of the milk. You know, milk is not a healthy thing. It is not
Noted.
a healthy.
Goodness.
Noted.
You don't need the milk. You do not need. There are plant-based milks you can have. You can have, and cakes and all of that now you can have without the milk. So dairy cheese is very addicting because it has what's called casein, which is a high concentration of protein, and it could be addicting. You know, it's like a high concentration of the breast milk, because breast milk has small amounts of dopamine through that casein, depending on what animal you are.
Yeah.
Because it's supposed to taste good for the baby to be like, this is great. And then when the baby has teeth, you then move out of it. That's why most of us are lactose intolerant. It's not a disease. It's nature losing that lactase enzyme because we don't need milk anymore. And now we are grown. But you have, you know, the industry telling us that it's necessary. So this is why, this is why we have a Kickstart at Rethink Your Food. It's an online pledge program, 21 days. It's just a kickstart to kick you into thinking about the issue. We have sample meal plans, sample recipes, but sometimes people grab all of that and they go. We have an email series, and the email series gives people the education about how to eat a healthy plant-based diet and the reasons why you can adopt. And we have found that the people who've gone through the entire process and taken the time to read all the emails are more likely to have a more sustained plant-based diet or reduce their consumption. So yeah, it's about a paradigm shift and a new way of looking at things. And we are a huge movement, whether we are Rastafarian or following, not Rastafarian and following an Ital diet, whether the fastest groups of vegans are African American, predominantly women, and that includes Caribbean women, are Seventh-day Adventists, and Rastas who are switching from, fish to a whole food plant-based diet. So we need the Caribbean to get on board, more people, we're already there, but it's just we need to have that education out there so that people can make informed decisions to decide what they want to do. But if you don't have the information, you can't make the decision, right?
Yes. One of the challenges in the Caribbean is, I guess, an epidemic of sorts of what do you call it? Lifestyle diseases, right? And these are we have so many avoidable health issues in the Caribbean.
Correct.
A lot of it is because of diet, lack of exercise, and an overly indulgent lifestyle. Now, even if we look at the elements of how post-colonial has us thinking that indulgence is a status symbol. So the more meat we could afford, the more we could alcohol we could buy, the bigger the this, the more expensive the that. That lends itself to an attitude of indulgence that we tend to pay for later on. And then our kids have responsibilities to take care of us. And now we have to rely on national health systems, etc. What appealed to me hearing you all speak, particularly just now when you were speaking about the event, Carissa, it occurred to me that while it might be titled the Ital Food Festival, it's actually a community festival. It's not just for foodies. This is not just we're going to go out and it's not like the chocolate fest or the Cocoa Fest where you go and you just have products. It's not just an expo of Ital food. This is a community building event, almost a restoration to time together, just spending screenless time with your family and your neighbors, bringing things that you've developed and you've planted and grown and you could trade. I'm thinking Ras Commander would love to be more informed about this. So this is where we doing our part here to bring awareness. And I will apologize. Carissa emailed me a while back and I'm like, okay, cool. I could look into this. And it became a thing that, okay, I could look into it. And now I'm thinking, had I done the 21-day session, I would I'll probably be healthier than I am right now.
Well, it's online. Go to rethinkyourfood.org and click on programs, or vegancaribbeankickstart.com, vegancaribbeankickstart.com, and it'll show up.
Right.
You can even just Google it. You don't need to type the entire address and it'll come up, because it's the only Caribbean Kickstart program on the planet. It's the only one. You know, one of the things about Rethink Your Food is that we work locally, and we have collaborated with Carissa on many other things. She does a lot of outreach for us as well in the community. And we work regionally. You know, we're going to hire writers to start writing about food in the Caribbean, so that we can connect with people even from an academic level. And regionally, the Kickstart is an online program, and we're going to have more online events. We're going to have a podcast coming up soon to complement the Kickstart, where we're going to have guests from vegan bodybuilders to medical experts, to chefs. So this is what we do. We're fairly new, a new organization. We started during the COVID, but so we had to kind of not do much until 3 years ago. That's when we started. So yeah, it's fantastic, and I'm really excited as we build more staff and start having a really huge presence, because I want to get in touch with Mia Motley because she talks about climate change and all of that. So I'm going to start writing her a letter and, hey, you want to try it? You know, I have dietitians for you. Let's see. And who knows? You know, maybe she might decide to have that material in the content, you know, health content as an option for people. But the problem is that you know, you can't find that at these major Caribbean health associations. Not saying that it's their fault and they're trying to not have it. It's just a lack of information for them as well. I mean, I've had people in government who email me back, you know, in other parts of the Caribbean saying, this is great. So, you know, hopefully they can share that information to other people working in government. But I think inevitably we have to rely on the grassroots. We have to rely on community. Caribbean people are community based. So that is important.
There are some people, okay, full disclosure, while you were speaking about getting writers, Denisa David, her name just popped into my head, Carissa. And secondly, there's a gentleman by the name of Adrian Palmer. He's a Jamaican physiotherapist who's living in Trinidad and Tobago right now. He's Seventh-day Adventist, and I believe he's also a part of our sports. That is the person. That is the guy to talk to about finding that thing that you asked me about, Carissa, because he was with
maybe I can interview him.
Program. Yeah.
Is he plant-based?
Well, I know he's definitely advocated for the healthy and plant-based lifestyle. Right, so I could put you guys in contact with each other.
Okay, that'd be great.
He will be able to supply that thing that you asked me about that I kept forgetting to actually follow up on.
No problem.
This is great. I'm taking off so many boxes of
goodness.
shame.
Give thanks. No. It's all in the right timing, you know. But I'm glad that you brought up it was a community event, you know, and it really is a community event. I was in a position where I worked at a shop for a little while, and I observed the choices that people were making, not to criticize or blame or shame, you know, but it was just an observation for me. You know, I've been kind of just dealing with my family alone for a long time, you know. I came out of corporate life, and we've been farming and living off the land, and you know, yes, while we do interact with people, we try our best to, you know, just do what we can on our own. And you know, I've had a few years experience just observing what the choices that people make, and I realized that there just wasn't that link, you know, people just not thinking that what they're putting into their body is going to affect their health, and then they're just not thinking that later on they're going to suffer, they're going to have high medical bills, and then they may not have the chance to enjoy their grandchildren, you know. It's just people not connecting those dots. And this is one of the reasons why I decided to have the Ital Food Festival, because I've been living like this for 15 years. I've experienced the joy of it, just knowing the kind of life that we've had in terms of living off the land and the connection with nature that I've developed within the last 15 to 20 years is something that I wanted to share with people, and let people eyes open to something different and new. And so Ital Food Fest will be an immersive experience, hopefully it will be transformative as well, because of the information and the kind of exposure that people will have to just people who live like this, and live in this harmonious way, in this natural way, trying to, not, as they say, take anything from Babylon, as my sister said the other day. So it will be uplifting, it should be empowering as well. So for everyone to rethink their choices, that's what I hope to see.
If anything, the viewers online, the international viewers get from this episode is, I want you all to understand that Carissa and I are the same age. and
Wow.
she looks considerably younger than I do.
Two things you said. You mentioned Denisa, and Denisa, I must say, Denisa has been on this team with me from first year.
Okay.
She has provided a lot of background support for me. She even attended an interview with me. While she's not actively on board this year, she is still on, providing that support. And also, as you said, that I ran into Keith London the other day as well, and he said, Carissa, you look the same. You haven't changed a day, He's like, he's in a time capsule. But this is the Ital living, this is nature and the goodness that I experience, and I give thanks.
Yeah, I was confused when you came onto the Zoom because I was like, I didn't know that Zoom had time travel. I didn't.
Come on.
I was like, what is happening here? Why are we in 2001? So this is
I get
amazing
that a
to
lot
me.
too. I get that a lot too. When I transitioned to a plant-based diet, I was 45, and that was 15 years ago. So between age 35, I'll be 61 this year in 8 months, and I transitioned between age 35 to about 45. I used to run in university. And I had gastric reflux disease, that acid, and I had to sleep up, like literally on an incline. I had to sleep on, like I was on a chair. I had a lot of menstrual cramps. I had a lot of knee pain, and everybody was like, child, you're getting older. It happens to everybody. And the first seed was planted was actually when I went to university in 1989, when I met a Native American who was vegan. And he did it because of factory farming. He didn't want to participate in all the horrible conditions and the suffering that both the animals and the workers have to go through, which, you can come to the event and hear all of that. But a seed was planted. And when I was 45, I remember just having all these problems and cutting up some chicken and seeing that blood and all of that. And I was like, well, maybe this is what the problem is. Because my doctor basically said, stay away from milk, which I already did because I was lactose intolerant, and don't eat tomatoes. That's basically, and take Tums before you go to bed.
Yeah.
So I did some massive research so that I wouldn't die of protein deficiency, because that's what everybody thought back then.
Right.
And
You're just
I looked
waste
for
away.
I looked for older people who were walking the walk, and they had clinics and success stories. And within 4 weeks, Aaron and Ricardo, no more gastric reflux, none. No more menstrual cramps, no more knee pains. I would wake up in the morning, no bad breath. I had a steady supply of energy, and I started to run half marathons. This was at age 45. I started, my first one was about 2 years later, so about 47. And my last run was a 5K. So that's about 6 miles. So yeah, it was one of the best things I do. And a friend asked me, at about 3 months into it, so what's the difference? And I said, I just felt less polluted. you know? And, a plant-based diet, plants have fiber. High fiber diets, help to feed the healthy gut bacteria. It also helps to flush out all those toxins, the poop from your body. So, and it aids in a better immune system. So I felt clean. I felt like it was a clean diet, and I eat some junk food occasionally. I'll have my chips or French fries and things like that, but I try to limit it. I might have sometimes salty stuff. I try to limit it as I'm getting older at age 60. Now I'm eating vegetables for breakfast because my diet my body is, oh my gosh, my body is changing. I wish my mom and auntie and everybody told me what I was in store for with perimenopausal and menopause, but nobody told me. But oddly enough, I don't have that sweat, all that sweating, perspiration that a lot of people tend to get. But my needs, my dietary needs are a little bit different. So yeah, it's great. I do tend to feel more cravings for junk food, so I have to watch that a little bit, But at the same time, most people I know my age are either overweight or they're on medication. I'm on medication. I'm still running. I did a 20-minute run this morning. I'm a little slower, but still. So
two things. First and foremost, Aaron, I believe we should have these young ladies back with us when we're doing, is it October? We do Women's Health.
Thanks for the compliment.
I know we do October's mental health.
Mm-hmm. And then
I don't think we have a specific month for women's.
But we generally do the breast cancer awareness in
October.
No,
but no, we do have a specific month where we dedicate to women's health though.
All right. So what that means is we could bring you guys back on to talk about the way that women's health specifically is impacted or improved with a plant-based lifestyle.
Sure. Absolutely.
Yeah, because I'm very, very interested in
Carissa and I make a great team, right, Carissa?
Yeah, for sure.
I want to acknowledge that I had stopped eating meat. I'd shifted to plant-based for a year and 3 months, and everything was different. I was sleeping better. My base energy was higher than before. More regular in the bathroom, sometimes 2 a day easy. Exercise was easier. I had more. Everything was better. And then I dreamed I was eating Royal Castle chicken. Honestly, I'm not kidding. I had a dream I was eating the chicken. I woke up smelling the chicken, and within 3 weeks, I'd eaten Royal Castle and fall off the wagon completely. But I've really been thinking about getting my body back to that state that it was in, because
that's good.
Going into my mid-40s, already was premature gray, right? I kind of want to preserve as much of my youth as I can, because it's not going to get easier going forward. I really want that. Right? Yeah. So I'm excited about the conversations we can have. Definitely excited about the conversations. And this is not just a one-off for me for the Ital Food Festival. This is about having a conversation that I'm seeing more and more pockets of people getting interested and involved in, because we're not even looking at the pet lovers community, that because they love their pets, they started shifting away from consuming meat. So there are so many different spots of the community that you all can reach and are already interested. What do you call it? Veg curious?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right?
Veg curious.
Yeah. So
it's amazing too, setting up this Ital Food Festival. Y'all hearing me?
Yeah.
And the kind of people that have approached me to be involved, And I mean, I give thanks too for people reaching out, because it's out of the box, And so, for example, I mean, I had a call from Miss Environment TT, which is a pageant show, but they thought that we're well aligned, and they wanted to be a part of the event. I have I might have a solar power company coming as well to show what they can power up, you know. So it is a lifestyle, it is a liberty, it is an overall well-being, you know. It's not just about the food. I want to re-emphasize that.
Yeah, that's I feel like Carissa and I are part of a movement where people are finding meaning in knowing that they are part of a group of people making change. And I go to conferences, my community, I have people who are not vegan in my community, but I also people who have. I mean, I've been in the nonprofit world for quite a while, and I've been vegan for 15 years. So I see people connecting the dots with really understanding the connection between the animals, and actually going to places and looking at the animals. I remember I went to a farm sanctuary, a little baby cow as big as up to my belly. It's a male. He started to run because he likes to be petted and stuff. And then when I opened the gate and he saw me, he ran up and he put his forehead in my tummy for me to pet him. And I was like, I totally melted, you know? So there are different ways. Some people do it for spiritual reasons, of course. Some people do it for the environment. Some people I know don't care about animals, but they care more about the environment, and that's okay. And I would say for Ricardo, which I know you already know, it's not a zero-sum game. It's not all or nothing. You know, it's okay if you feel you need to go and have your meats, you know, occasionally and all that. It's not about beating yourself up. You know, I think it's we have to be kind to ourselves in our journey, because if not, we get too defensive and we're fighting ourselves. You know, I mean, I know when I first stopped, I actually cried. I had something with egg, and I remember got out of the restaurant and I felt bad because of the animals, because I read so much about the what goes on in factory farms and stuff. And then I ate half of it was cheesecake. I ate half of the cheesecake and I put the rest in the trash, and that was it. That was it for me.
Yeah.
But everybody has their journey. And in my journey, I said, I'm going to do the research. I'm going to look at all the stuff and just be kind to myself. And if I become vegan, great. If I become not, that's okay.
Right.
You know, just to let you know, there are more meat reduction people on the planet than there are people who are more 100% vegan. So from an environmental perspective, they're doing actually more for the planet.
Okay.
Because there are more of them. So if you're a weekend meat eater or something, and you're eating 5 days a week plant-based or something, or just using animal products as a condiment, there are more of you than there are of me, because it is a little bit difficult for a lot of people to connect that, to decondition something they have been led to normalize for all their lives, right? Okay. So you're doing good stuff when you are a meat reducer, and if everybody just reduced their meat by just having it on a weekend or something, we could shut down industrial animal agriculture. Literally shut it down.
Something more sustainable.
All right, now, now, guys, we there's a P word that we use coming close to the end of our shows, and that's that we are perilously close to the end of tonight's program. So, Carissa, I wanna ask you just to give the details of the Ital Food Festival.
Okay. Ital Food Festival will be held at Scouts Headquarters, St. Anne's, Port of Spain, on April 6, 2025, from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. We will have entertainment to the later half of the evening. And we should have vendors all day. We will have food vendors, craft vendors. We will have live entertainment. We will have a lovely intimate talks, very knowledgeable, educational talks like the live animals, etc. And the tickets can be bought from District Cafe in Woodbrook, Darren's Car Sales in San Fernando, and from any of the also at Boy Scouts headquarters, you could get it there at St. Anne's, and from any of the committee members. You can look out for us on Ital is Vital TT, Ital Food Festival TT on Instagram or Facebook or TikTok as well. The tickets are available online at time2lime.com. Give thanks, Aaron and Ricardo, for having us, and it was nice catching up, Ricardo.
Right.
Give thanks for attending, Liz, for your contribution.
And remember, rethink your food. Liz, really quickly, just give us the website and the socials.
Yeah, so the website is rethinkyourfood.org. Again, rethinkyourfood.org. And our largest Instagram page and Facebook page is vegancaribbeankickstart.com. Again, vegancaribbeankickstart.com. And that is also one of our websites where people can sign up for the 21-day kickstart. And, they get recipes and sample meal plans, and they get the email series for that as well. And yeah, this was fun. I loved it. I really appreciate you all giving us a platform to talking about something that is really important, information that people don't readily have. Instagram and social media has a ton of vegan recipes, but we really don't talk about the 4 reasons why most people eat a plant-based diet, and the connection with the ecosystem, and the sort of paradigm shift it takes for us to switch to a whole food plant-based diet. And that's what Rethink Your Food is here for. And that is what the Ital Food Festival is going to, offer people as well. So we are excited, and we're glad to have this platform.
It's all pleasure. The time flew. I'm looking forward to more conversation.
Yes.
Yeah.
But just remember, Ricardo, right, that vital means essential for life. Therefore, Ital is vital. Give thanks.
Well, guys, this is Ricardo Mitchell, the social sage on a global stage. Thanking you for joining us in the living room. Remember, guys, the hourglass is opaque. We don't know how much time remains, so whatever you're doing, be good, stay safe, and consider Ital. Aaron?
This is yours truly, Aaron868. I remind you each and every time that culture is my code. And I also tell you that love is the currency, so spend some today. Let somebody know you love them, guys. All right? Thank you, ladies, for taking time out to speak to us today about the event and also the movement.
Yes.
I wouldn't say it's a mission, it's a movement.
It is.
Right?
Exactly.
The plant-powered movement.
Yep.
Right? And here what, as always, kind of end with do use styrofoam and all these different things.
Mm-hmm.
But try one day for the week. Go plant-based for one day and see how you feel.
Yes, give thanks. Good word, Aaron.
I had a salad the other day and I was very, very surprised. 1, at how good it tasted, and 2, that I felt full and light at the same time. I was like, how is this happening? My body was like, what are you doing? So yeah. I will take up that challenge, and also I will try the 21-day. I will try the 21-day.
I actually signed up on Vegan Caribbean Kickstart while the show was going on.
Oh,
So,
awesome.
Yeah.
Right?
One thing I want to say to people is that, a good start is to switch out, on that 1 day or 2 days or 3 days, switch out the animal products for beans. So switch out the meat. If you have rice and vegetables, you just switch out the meat for beans, legumes, which is beans, lentils, chana, and so on. And that's usually an easy way for people to start.
So in our case, we might just be omitting it. Yeah.
Well,
So-
omitting the meat and eating more of it.
So just now, real quick question before you go. Rice, dal, and cucumber.
That's vegan.
All right, cool. I got to
As long
Vegan.
as you're not cooking with ghee, which most people don't anyway, because ghee is actually, it's a lot of these places don't tend to cook with ghee. But and also, Aaron, eat more food, because sometimes people visually look at that meat and then they have that same amount visually of the legumes, and then they say, I'm hungry.
I'm so
Just
hungry.
double up on that. And you know, if you're hungry, eat more. And that is something that sometimes is hard for people to see.
Okay.
So
I am
Appreciate
people.
you guys.
Appreciate you all too. Appreciate love it. Give thanks. Blessed love.
Mr. Desmond, take it away with the big band.
thank
it locked.
you.
Bye.